Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Schmitty with an episode of Talkin Schmit. Today, we've got on the program the one and only Clyde Singleton. Super hyped with the Super Bowl coming Sunday. I wanted to bring Clyde in. We're going to talk Super Bowl. We're going to talk about his amazing year as a podcast host. And we're going to give a little bit of tribute because it is Black History Month here, February, all month. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clyde Singleton. Hey, while we're waiting for Clyde, I wanted to share with you this. Beta cam, Phil Shaw footage, him, McKinney, and Wade Spire at Burnside. I just got it digitized today, brought it back home. Looking beautiful. The Phil Shaw project is officially underway, and we are stoked. I am stoked. What else? Shout out to Skateworks, Strubing family. Their family forever. Next week, Skate Shop Day. We got a special episode with Billy from Backdoor. And here we go, kids. This is the one and the only. Let's bring him in. Give him a real big Talkin Schmit applause for Clyde Singleton.
There we go.
Yeah. Boom, boom.
Hold on. I got to fix this shit. Hold on.
Hey, you got to turn the screen and your hat sideways. There you go. Now just get the hat. There you go.
Don't do that, dude. Hold on. Like that?
There you go. I love this.
Hold on. I was smoking weed, dude.
Oh, shit. I can't do that anymore.
Hold on. How do I join?
Hey, Talkin Schmit. I'm already not watching.
It's cool, like tonight is the night.
Damn, this is like the coolest thing I'm ever gonna do.
I wouldn't say it was fun.
What do you mean, bro? Christian Fletcher's younger brother.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Big Dog's in. What do you think, Dolan?
We on? Schmitty?
Talkin Schmit.
Alpha macaroni.
Most of these guys, their opinion don't matter.
Talkin Schmit, right?
It's skateboarding.
I remember that.
Talkin Schmit.
What are yuns doing?
Holy shit.
Skateboarding homies.
No, Schmitty, you can't jump in.
What is happening?
Gregory.
Yes, we are.
Wi-Fi check 1, Wi-Fi check 2.
Sometimes when you smoke weed and try to use Zoom, things do not go perfect. And we are back.
There we
go. Dude, Def Leppard shirt and everything. Pyromania, let's go.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
How are you? Just chilling.
How are you?
I'm great. I was just trying to figure out what I think your prediction's going to be for the Super Bowl. I was like, is he going to be a Chiefs person or is he a Niners fan for this one?
Oh man. I have to go with the Niners, man.
Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
I do. I got to go with the Niners. I got to. I like McCaffrey.
Yeah, me too.
I like McCaffrey. He seems like a good guy.
I like McCaffrey and Bosa.
He seems like he's never used the hard R.
Okay. There you have it.
Yeah, I was just talking about Virginia when I was there. I went to the slave cabin. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
I went to the slave cabin. I went to not the slave cabin. It was Booker T. Washington. You can't see that on the screen, can you?
See what?
I keep getting messages. Sorry,
but
I went to when I was in Pinhook, Virginia. When I moved there 2 years ago, right? I got this wild hair to go to Booker T. Washington's birthplace, aka slave cabin. Yeah, dude, by myself. First off, I'm by myself in fucking Virginia. You ever been to Virginia?
Yeah, but just drove through. I haven't really. Or like Richmond?
Beautiful place. But that shit is like, I can't really explain it. it has a thing to it. You know what I mean? If you're there, I'm pretty sure you're used to it. But there's still some sort of like, you know what I mean? Like I was driving around and I felt like I don't even really get those weird feelings and shit either. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, yo, this feels uncomfortable. But I felt very uncomfortable, so I decided to go. And I went by myself, and it was a rainy day. And I did this a couple times, man. I went to a couple of slave cabins, and I wasn't mentally prepared for this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be mentally prepared to step into that. And I just went on some like, you know what, I'm going to go today. Like I was spending time between skating, the first one. No, the first one I went to by myself. I was driving from Southern Florida to living with my girlfriend in Massachusetts. And I decided to stop at a slave cabin in Savannah, Georgia. That shit was creepy. Creepy as hell, dude. Like, and
is it like is it branded? Like, I mean,
dude, dude.
You know, like, how did you know where it was?
It had a sign that said slave cabins.
This is a slave cabin. Fuck.
Yeah, it said slave cabin that way. That's how I knew where it was.
Oh my god.
Big ass sign. Yeah, I'm not even joking, dude. So I went to the first one, and it was crazy. You had to go across like two big rivers. You know what I mean? It was crazy. Like it was almost like a trek.
We haven't had slave cabin talk on this show.
The first slave cabin I went to was in Savannah, Georgia. It was in some weird little island, and you have to cross two huge bridges to get there. And I was by myself. Now, I don't even think I had a license. I had weed in the car. I had everything bad to go to jail in the South. Just me in the car by myself. I was like, fuck it, dude. I'm going to go to the slave shack. Pulled up, and it was dusk. And so I literally just pulled up. Like, I wasn't mentally in the right spot. You know what I mean? I was just like going to see my girl. The plan was to hit some skate parks along the way and just, you know, maybe just kind of buy by my time. And I was like, oh, you know what? I knew there was a slave cabin there, so I decided to go. It was getting dark, and man, I can't explain it. You drove under these trees, and it was just these huge moss. I can't fucking explain it, man. It was like you drove into another world. You know what I mean? Like everything got dark. Like there was no sun whatsoever. It was completely like, and it was like the trees were like, it was like a place like holding you fucking in. Like literally, it was fucking cool. Dude, you could feel it as you're driving in. And so my dumb ass pulls in. I'm bumping like Future or some shit, right? And I have no socks. I have no socks, so I'm like getting dressed in the car, like loud rap music. And this whole family pulls up next to me, and I'm like, I'm just not in my, you know what I mean? I'm just like I'm at a gas station and shit. And these people are looking at me, and then it dawned on me, I'm at a fucking plantation. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm the only black dude there. And clearly I wasn't a prop. You know what I'm saying? They were just like looking at me like, what the And we all walked up at the same time, and it was just an awkward silence. You know what I mean? Like it was, but I don't know. Like I didn't, you know, I started talking to the I think the father, obviously it was, and you know, it was like, what am I gonna say to the dude? You know what I mean? Like not like that, but I couldn't, what the fuck? I wasn't there to berate the dude. You know what I mean? I was there to see the place. I wasn't there to make them feel bad or like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I pulled up like a fucking ABC movie, like, oh shit, black guy here. Like, it wasn't like that. It was just probably just an inopportune time for them. But
do they keep it like a historical thing, or is it just?
Dude, the building is still there.
Okay.
Dude, they get the lawn gets fucking manicured around the slave cabin. There's like nice flowers and shit. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's like, dude, it's a fucking plantation. You know what I mean? Plantations are beautiful places in the South. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
I've been to a bunch,
It's like a Southern villa. You know, you guys have the villas out there. It's like that shit. Except it's just
the Hermitage and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, except it like it's, you know, out there it's just different. It's like out there it's like a lot of Hispanics, and like, you know, like it's not the same, but it's the same concept. You know what I'm saying? Rich people, and they got these people working for them, and They do all the chores, they take care of the kids, and blah, blah, blah. It's the soft version of that, but that's the easiest way to explain it is like a villa. You know what I'm saying? They're very nice places. Like plantations are beautiful here. You would think it's like you go to these places, and the other place I went to was South Carolina. And I forgot this, it was right across the border of South Carolina, which is, by the way, if you ever go to South Carolina, keep fucking driving. You're going to come out different. It's another beautiful place, but it's one of the places you forget's in America. There's like a couple states, you're like, holy shit, that's like still part of America? Like, that's what I think every time I go to South Carolina. I'm like, damn, why'd they split it up? Why didn't they just make this like Southern Florida?
The North Carolinians, they tell you that's why they're North and South. North Carolina takes a lot of pride that they are not South Carolina.
Yeah, they take a lot of pride in their barbecue sauce being different too. Like, yeah, they will make sure that you know. It's sort of like West Virginia and Virginia, but it's a weird pride. Dude, it's like a Florida thing too. Swear to God, there's some invisible line like everywhere. But back to the slave house. The second one I went to, this one was fucking creepy. Like, this one I went to, I was driving back. Me and my girlfriend had split up. And so I decided, like, I'm going to go on a skate road trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you do dumb shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me tell you about this real quick. Shit you shouldn't do. Whenever you and your girl break up, don't ever think you're going to go on some fucking male spring break. That shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't work. It don't work. You get like 2 days in, you be like, damn, this shit sucks. That's what happened to me. So not only was it sucking, I decided to stop at a slave fucking cabin. And this joint was fucking big. Like, it had a long ass road, like Django to go up to it. This shit was big as fuck. And so the beautiful part about this one is, so I get to the front and there's a museum. And I check out the museum. It has all the crazy shit. Like, I don't know if you know this, the New Orleans Saints logo, the fucking thing, that was an old branding thing for slaves, for runaway slaves. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. True story, real facts. Like, that's
wow.
Very real fucked up thing. So you go in these places and they're selling those as souvenirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a fucking New Orleans Saint souvenir, but that's what, you know what I mean? Like, that was a thing back in the day. So, So I'm in the museum, I'm looking at all this shit. They got like postcards, people dressed up as mammies, all kinds of weird shit, like weird shit. So then I buy a ticket to go on the tour. This is where it gets fucking amazing. I go up this long ass road like Django. I'm running down this thing, right? These people are looking at me like I'm a fucking prop in a fucking slave movie. I'm just running to this house full speed because I got like 10 minutes to get there. I get to the front and it's just this old Amityville looking house with a huge, I couldn't even see the fucking end of the plantation. And this old lady opens the door and she's like, looks around, she's like, is it just you? And I'm like, yes, ma'am, it's just me. So me and this old lady start going on this tour. And first she takes me out front. She's like, that's the field. She wouldn't call it a plantation. She's like, that's the field out there. So that's the field. I couldn't even see the end of it, dude. It looked like the fucking horizon. And she's like, the family got rich off of selling millions of pounds of rice to the Chinese, like they overseas, like every month, millions and millions of pounds. And so the workers, as she called them, were the ones that were doing the workers. She would not refer to them as slaves. And I kept being like, mind you, it's me and this old lady. And so she tells me at one point, she's like, and we're standing in the yard and like, it's super awkward, man. It's just very, very, very awkward. And we're standing in the yard and she's like, yeah, when the workers, you know, if they did a good job, they'd get to sing and dance. And, yeah, dude, yeah. And she's like, yeah, dude, yeah. She takes me through the house. And as we're going through the house, you start seeing like a bunch of Nazi memorabilia and a lot of it was like Civil War memorabilia. That was a lot of that stuff is Western Germany. Like there's a lot of influence from that. I will say that much. Like a lot, and it's very, very scary. And I don't know this fact on all of it, but I know what I saw. You know, and I saw a lot of Nazi memorabilia. a lot of Confederacy, and there was a lot of overlapping stuff. And I saw a lot of bookkeeping from slave hours and what they paid them. I saw the family that was still, it was crazy, man. It was crazy, dude. And that was just the inside of the house. And we get to the outside, and I get to the slave quarters, and I don't know if I was supposed to walk in, but I walked in because at this point, two other older gentlemen and their wives somehow met us at this point. And so the older gentlemen were super nice people, and so we go to the slave cabin. Before we go, I'm sorry. She walks us to the back porch, and I guess that was kind of the end of the tour. And so there was a garage, like a shed, like a huge outdoor barn, with outdoors and a bunch of tractors and stuff. And there was a garage with like a car in it, and it was offsetting. And then there was a couple of cabins, and that was the slave cabins. And since it was closed, we weren't supposed to go to them. Me and the old guys were two Navy guys. These guys were fucking cool. So we all decided to go to them, dude. We fucking we walked up in them, dude. And before we got to the slave shack, there was a box outside, and they had all these buttons on them, dude. And you hit the buttons, and it was slaves singing, dude. Oh. Like it was audio of slaves singing. I got the video, dude.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah,
it was crazy, dude. It was fucking crazy. It was crazy, man. Like I've seen some crazy shit. That was.
Did you do that because
I would never forget that. I'd never forget that. You know what I mean? Like there's some things in my life I would never forget, and I wasn't mentally prepared for that. You know what I mean? I just went in like had my camera, and I was just like, all right. I mean, I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I didn't. Like I wasn't fully. I hadn't really got through me and my girl breaking up at the time. You know what I'm saying? So like,
that's what I was wondering.
My head wasn't there.
Yeah, like
that was, I went in just, and I think it kind of scarred me for a minute, dude. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, dude. Like you're not prepared to see that kind of stuff, and you take for granted a lot of things you have in life, and a lot of shit that people fought for, and a lot of liberties and shit like that we take for granted. And that's bullshit.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's like no matter who you are or where you come from, it's sad to see that kind of shit, and you still see that kind of poverty. Not that kind of poverty, I apologize, but you still see that, like in very rural places of the South. You know what I mean? Like it's just that it's strange to see, and it made me put a lot of things in perspective. You know what I mean? Like It helped me mentally doing things. I think that helped me get through that, and a lot of other things that happened in the last 2 years helped me get through this year and be able to like think for once. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that as much as it fucked me up. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking you're like a little bit of like sadistic or masochist, whatever one it is, but you're like, fuck, I just broke up with my girlfriend. What could get worse? Oh, I'll go to a slave cabin.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, literally I was rolling down the highway with all of my stuff in my car. Like I was sleeping at like random gas stations, you know what I mean? Just like, you're not
trying to piece it all together.
You're not thinking in that moment, you know what I mean? And like that's what I said. Like if like for people that go through that kind of stuff, man, it's like be careful what you get into after something heavy like that. Like a breakup, or it can even be something as simple as losing a job. It could be like losing your skateboard career, because we see dudes like Henry Sanchez losing their brain. Let's start there. All right, let's start with Henry Sanchez. Losing his brain. I don't know what's up with him, but every time I post the word black or black people, he seems to get offended. I don't know what's up with that dude. Like, what's funny is last time I talked to him, he was going to come to the pop-up and he was going to apologize. He was cool. I don't know what's up with the dude. Maybe he cracked his head doing a manual. I don't know.
Fuck.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen that dude in years.
I don't get that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like some people's heads just ain't really right, man. You're like, what would make a grown man act like that? You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't process a lot of things after something heavy happens. You know what I mean? And that shit does, man. You take it out on other people. You start doing it. I've been there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, what's up with that kind of shit?
It's the Schadenfreude effect. I always talk about it. It's like your downfall makes me happy for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to like get better. I need to watch you get worse. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, no.
Weird as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I find it very interesting that people pay for the internet to go on there and be mad. It's like, damn, dude, that's a waste of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wasting like $100 a month. You paying for a phone and shit just to be mad on it? Like what?
You can get mad just driving behind me in your car. Fucking.
You'll be mad as hell. Like, leave the house mad. Like, why even leave the house? You're mad as fuck. You know what I do when I'm mad? I go buy some snacks and I watch YouTube. That's what I do.
Bruh, I need that.
I think skating tomorrow is going to be great, though. I'm super excited about that.
Tell Lance hello. I love that dude.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll get him. I think he's been skating. I don't know. He's been going to the skate park with a skateboard.
He'll show up and shake hands at least and give you some good stories for sure. Dude, what is it about Florida? Because in my mind, Florida's, I mean, I don't want to offend everybody, but Florida's a crazy state to me. But like, dude, the people in skateboarding that have come from Florida are all epic. You know what I mean? Like Reynolds, Steamer, the list goes on forever. There's so many, but I'm like, is that why they came to California? But like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's a different, and that's a great question. I think there's two different kinds of people that come from Florida. It's like the guys that are here that are the Florida guys, and then there's the Florida guys that were very thirsty and wanted to go to California, and that's where a lot of us came in at, you know what I mean? And that's what, I think that's what kind of separates us from all the other Florida guys at the end of the day. There's no disrespect to them whatsoever, but we're just a whole different breed of dudes, you know what I mean? Like,
and pursue your dreams, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We left the house for $15 and fucking, you know what I mean? We didn't have no excuses. That's what we wanted to do. And something we should all be proud of at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even the guys that did their thing here, they should be proud at the end of the day.
You just influenced somebody.
A lot of people talk the shit, but they're scared to jump off the porch at the end of the day.
If you're not a big dog, stay your puppy ass on the porch.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's being real as shit. Like, you can talk all that shit, but man, once you go out there, you're with the big dogs, man. You can't. That's what separates you from everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you can be the nicest dude. That's all right. That's absolutely all right. You go out there, you're probably a regular old dude, and that's what you want to do. You want to compete in anything you want to do. You want to compete. If you want to skateboard and be good by yourself, you do it like Rodney Mullen did. And ain't nobody doing that. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to be on you. Everybody wants to compete until it's really time to compete. You're like, oh shit, I ain't pro like that. You're like, oh, yeah, that shit is, I ain't pro like that, dude. Like, all right, I get it, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just don't want to go out there and compete. And that's what it is. It ain't nothing against nobody, but I think that's what separates a lot of us Florida guys and girls. There's a lot of very good, what's her name? Pedro's sister. Don't tell me. Oh man, what's her name? Delfino. What is it?
Fabiana.
Yes.
Yeah, she rips. She's got.
Am I allowed to say she's kind of fine? Yeah.
That's up to you. I never censor nobody.
I think she could be cool though. Hey, girl, she could be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it'd be crazy if I said she was busted. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say it differently. She's got great style.
Dude, I think she's a great skateboarder too.
I think so too. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan.
Her and there's a lot of. I think she's a. And in the last year, I guess I've seen a lot more women skateboarding, which is probably a good thing. I kind of had a fucked up eye for it. And I've seen a lot more of them. I'm like, all right, there's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of very talented skateboarders out there. And it's just going a different way, man. You know what I mean? People got to look at that. People ain't like, man, this is funny thing. Check this out, dude. Everybody's like, everybody's not seeing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's mad at them YouTube dudes and shit, but it's like, hey, that's part of skating, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is like almost, it's not the freestyle, but it's just not what everybody saw coming. You know what I'm saying? And so all them kids that jumped on it first and they got their following and they're doing good on there and they're skating. They're skating every day. Shit. They're skating hard. They work more than the person that works at fucking McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to go out and film a trick. No matter if it's a kickflip or you're going to do a bunch of rail slides and shit, like, you got to leave your house. You got to go do this shit. So they're doing it every day on YouTube. Ain't got nothing to do with me, but people ain't really seeing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people keep dropping. Like it's dope you want to keep dropping videos and shit, but that's where it's going because them kids are more relatable. You know what I'm saying? You can see them every day, dude. You know what they look like. Like, they ain't trying to hold on to no footage. They ain't hiding in no warehouses. You see them every fucking day. And that shit is not, that's what matters. What's that dude looks like? Conan the Barbarian. Ricky Glazer?
Yeah.
Hey, that's why he's hitting right now. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker looks like a real life 80s fucking superhero on these boys. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if we was like 12 and that dude came skating across the street. He'd be like, yo, that dude looks cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He could do all the tricks. You wouldn't be worried. Dude, you wouldn't be sitting around worried about it. Man, someone's got the best style. You'd be worried about that shit. You know why? Because that dude comes to your screen every fucking day and he looks cool. You know what I'm saying? You ain't worried about what some 26-year-old dude looks like. That dude's probably like 48. Him, Jeff Valley, the chest, all them dudes. I even like the brown dudes too. You know why? Because there's room for dudes like that. For real. People just don't see it. Like, people be looking at stupid shit. They don't see it. There's room for dudes like, you know why? Because they're getting all the kids into skating. Your dumb ass don't want to get into skating. That's why them dudes are relevant. That's why they need to be there. You know what I'm saying? People are too cool to get kids into skating. They don't want to teach them how to do a kickflip. They want to yell, do a kickflip. That's what I'm saying, man. That's where you fucking up at. You got to be one of them nerd-ass dudes. You know what I'm saying? What's that dude's name? Mowgli. You got to be one of them dudes. One of them dudes with a bad haircut. You win, dog. I'm telling you.
That's controversial. There's a lot of people don't like those dudes.
Dude, guess what? Look, them dudes ain't worried about them dudes that don't like them. That's why they're winning. They got the confidence. You know what I'm saying? People too worried about what people think about them, man. That's why them kids are winning. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. They're like, oh, dude, can I do a da-da-da-da-da flip? Some goofy dude that's named after a trick cares about them? You know what I'm saying? That dude's getting a check at the end of the day, dog. I would be laughing at them goofballs, too. Like, oh, you don't like me? Vroom, vroom, bitch. Have fun riding the bus. They're doing what they love to do at the end of the day, like anyone else. They're skateboarders. They're doing what they love to do.
True.
If they found their niche, oh, well. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody get mad at them dudes make them Bob Marley shirts.
I don't know. The new Bob Marley, the actor's kind of, I don't know if this one's going to fly.
I'm saying, dude. Hey, we don't need in 2024. We do not need another primitive collection. That's what we'll need. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
We don't need another one. Who them dudes gonna do a collection with next? Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs time primitives next up. They do a doo-doo chocolate sock soup. Like,
dude, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. The year you had in podcasting last year was like extraordinary, as we call it, or extraordinary, as others call it. It was fucked up. Did you do the bunt last year?
Yes.
So you did the bunt, but the gnarly part for me is you flew into LA, you did the 9 Club and Tony Hawk like within like a few days of each other.
Yeah.
And then you go home and then you get Tony Hawk on your podcast.
Yeah.
And and then also on top of all that, this is fanning out on you right now. And on top of that, you started like a new division of your podcast, like kind of just a podcast centric, like with other podcasters. I was privileged to be on there, but you did it with other people. See, I mean, you're constantly going, not to mention your cooking and skating and everything else you got going. How are you feeling after all this? Because I'm like, if there was podcast awards, I gotta give it to you, man.
Provoking the stoke.
Thank you. I don't know. It's work at the end of the day. It's what I like doing. You know, it's hopefully the end goal is not to, I don't want to go for money. You know what I mean? Like that's not I love what I do. So everything else will fall into place. You know, monetarily, I think it would be smart to start, at least telling people I have a Patreon and shit like that. You know, when I have jokingly put that in comments, people like have sent money. So I've never put myself out there, but I have a couple of things that, that's the only thing that really bothers me is because I could either be working a job or doing this, and I like doing this. I really like doing this. So with that being said, what is coming up is I'm moving back to Jacksonville. I'm going to be working with Kona and doing some history of Kona stuff. And I got this comes at a very opportune time because I got an offer for management, and this very strange. It came from a Tony Hawk movie that I made. Okay, let's back this up.
Wow.
So Tony Hawk comes on. Let's back this up. So Tony Hawk comes on the show. Let's back this up real quick.
Yeah.
The weekend before Tony Hawk comes on the show, my phone breaks. I can't make this up. I have marble floors. I'll show them to you if you want to.
Dude, the intro to that episode is so good.
So my phone breaks. I'm like, fuck. And this is 3 days before Tony Hawk. So I get my iPhone 6 working somehow, some way. And I'm telling Tony Hawk as I'm interviewing him, my phone broke. And I was like, did you know I was in your video game? And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, I'm one of the first people when you turn it on. He's like, wait, did they think it was? I was like, yeah, they probably thought it was Kareem. He's like, so we're all laughing it off. And I was like, yeah, forever. I was like, people were telling me I should hit you up for money, but I was like, I don't fucking care anymore. I was like, I don't even think I own the game. And he's like, oh man, that's crazy. I was like, well, shit, if you want to, you can buy me a new phone. And he's like, really? Next day, I had a phone in my front door. Swear to God, I'm on it right now. Wow. He bought me a brand new iPhone. I'm like, this doesn't suck. So I already had the interview locked in. I did part 1 Christmas Day. I did part 2. I believe it was New Year's or maybe a week after New Year's. I forgot, split them up kind of. Yeah. And when part 2 came out, I decided I was going to start doing the YouTube content. And I couldn't figure out if I wanted to do a lot of green screen related stuff with history, or I couldn't, I had so much shit going on that I was like, I couldn't really piece it together. And I didn't really have anyone to coordinate with to gather my thoughts per se. You know what I'm saying? So I knew what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to strike. And so I started putting together YouTube shorts, and they were doing great. They were doing first one I did, I think it was like $5,000. It was crazy. I was like, this is weird. They're like 5,000 in like 24 hours. I was like, this is crazy. I guess I got a market for this because I don't use YouTube whatsoever. Put up another one. Did a couple more thousand. I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah. So I was like, all right, let's start putting up content. I didn't know what. And then I had the Tony Hawk interview. I was like, well, Tony Hawk's a good person to start with. And I was going to put up like a picture. This is crazy. I was going to put up a picture like with him when he's talking, it'd be a picture of him floating. And when I'm talking, it'd be like a little caricature of me. This kid drew it, has headphones on. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Yeah. And so I get 5 minutes into the interview and I start fucking nerding out. And next thing I know, I'm up for like 12 hours and I'm 15 to 20 minutes into a very short, detailed documentary of Tony Hawk. Like a fucking movie. I'm putting together a fucking movie with like very detailed like video clips as he's talking about certain times and like it's like crazy shit. And so I put an entire documentary together on the phone that Tony Hawk buys me. And so I'm like, I'm gonna put this on YouTube, but first I'm gonna send it to some people and see what they think. I sent it to Burnett, I sent it to a couple people. And I sent it to my buddy Baba. He works for Rock Nation, and which is obviously Jay-Z's thing. Yeah. And his wife is the president over at Vimeo. I think she's president of marketing or videos. So yeah. And so I sent it to him. I'm like, he's like, do not put that on YouTube. He's like, you are sitting on gold. And I'm like, so before I sent it to him though, Tony Hawk, I sent it to him, and he's like, oh, you're missing this piece, and I'm like, okay, like I guess he likes it, you know what I mean? So I fixed that part. I sent it back to him. I fixed 2 parts that he noticed. He's like, oh, you had Hasoi when it was like O and Neater. Like I like clearly I'd been up for like hours, you know what I mean? And just like doing this on my phone, by the way. I literally put together a small movie on this phone that Tony Hawk bought me. And so as I'm getting down to the end, I could see it's getting like, but I wasn't really paying attention to a lot of the clips. And I mistakenly, like it was like 2 mistakes. And then one part, I just used like a photo instead of him talking. He's like, oh, well, here's the one of me trying it on the DC ramp. And I'm like, okay, like, guess I got a movie now. So send it to everyone. And then my buddy Baba hits me back. He's like, don't put that up. He's like, you are sitting on gold. I'm like, really? He's like, is Tony Hawk down? I'm like, I see why not. He sent me footage. You know what I mean? He's like, I was like, I'm sure I'd have to get the photos clear, but most of them are grants, and grants pretty cool. And so I was like, I didn't really think much of the project. I was just gonna be, he's like, do not put that on YouTube, dude. He's like, you probably be sitting at South by Southwest. And I'm like, okay. Well, I was just like, and just completely forgot about it, sat on it. And recently he hit me back when I was in Massachusetts. And this woman took interest in managing me. And so I'm just trying to figure that out now. You know, like she does Rolling Loud. Her other clients are Redman, Method Man, DJ Paul, some other people. Yeah, so, and she's like, she wants to do it for a good price. So, you know, and like it would basically, she's, you know, there's people inside of YouTube that could just make sure you do good, you know, and which is pretty much like what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like knowing someone that works at a magazine and you want good placement in the magazine. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. So my idea is a couple of things, you know, like I have a couple of ideas, but that and I want to talk to a friend that works programming at Sirius too, because I have an idea for all of us over there. And yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I'll be moving up to Jacksonville in 2 weeks. Okay. Working with Kona. Yeah, we're going to do some cool history stuff there, and I'm going to set up my studio for what I'll be doing moving forward with some YouTube content and stuff. And yeah, working with them, doing, you know, like pulling out some old skateboards and shit. Like, yo, can I kickflip this board worth $20,000 from 1975? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Yeah. So then it'd be cool to do some interviews and just the history of that place too. I got an archival disc about a month ago. I haven't got to look through it. I was looking into it a bit, and Tony used to look so much different, dude. It had like a vert ramp. It should look like an Evel Knievel ramp, dude. It was like a plywood vert ramp, a huge one, dude. And then the snake went all, dude, it was crazy looking. There's like dudes doing like front side inverts on or like whatever that shit, like on the tombstone. Dude, all these little dude, that shit is wild. Like, look at that kind of shit. You're like, yo, skateboarding to like, I would say this. That's what else makes skaters from Florida different. Skating that kind of shit. You get to California, dude, and don't get me wrong, man. The skill set in California is insane. But getting out there, you're just like, whoa. Like everything is, you got to understand the weather, how the weather treats like our stuff here, and a lot of the skate parks. And we didn't have outdoor places, so people think it's all sunny and nice. It's like, dog, there's nothing nice about skating when it's 98 degrees outside and it's humid. You know what I mean? Like we would much rather be in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to. That's nothing like proud to be like able to like weather in. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't be out in the sun like that. Winters are short, summers are long. You know what I'm saying? And you got to deal with like all the tropical weather and stuff too. So you're dealing with a lot of different elements growing up here. Sure. And we were fortunate enough to be able to skate a lot of different stuff. You know, I'm sure you could tell a lot of us can skate everything. You know, we're pretty comfortable on skating. Like, you know, a lot of us can jump on a vert ramp and like, you know, get a couple tricks in. It's, you know, even though we don't skate vert, you know what I mean? Because we all grew up skating that stuff. Like it was cool. It was normal to skate that stuff. Like,
dude, first time I saw.
Dude, check this out. I got to California. I thought it was weird people didn't skate transition.
And then like the vert guys that can't ollie up the curb, like they walk their board to the ramp. Like that was crazy when I saw that. That's wild.
Like they got no urgency to learn. You know what I mean? It's like being that comfortable and in your, you know what I mean? Being that comfortable is a weird thing. You know what I mean? I never felt that comfortable in my abilities to skateboard to where I didn't feel it was necessary to at least try to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, you kind of get what I mean? Like I never felt it was like, why would I drop in a vert ramp? Like I couldn't see how a vert guy could be like, why would I want to learn how to ollie up a curve? It's like, because it's fucking skateboarding, bitch.
Yeah.
like that's why you want to do it.
Well, wouldn't you want to ride your board to the liquor store or like down to the market or something? Like you don't know how to skate on the street at all. Like, come on, man.
There's a lot of people, believe it or not, dude, check this out. There is a lot of people that are walking this earth right now that talk a lot of shit that have not pushed down the street. You know what I'm saying? They're not pushing down the street. I'm not even bullshitting, dude. Like, that's a very true fact. That's a fact of life. There's a lot of those people right now probably talking shit on the internet. They're not pushing down the street.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. There's a lot of kids right now that have grown up. I was talking to someone about this. I was like, who did I use as an example? P-Rod. I was like, could you imagine P-Rod skating from one of his friend's house to the other and it taking like 45 minutes? You know what I mean? Like, or any of them kids, like, could you imagine that? Because you couldn't picture it in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you've never seen them pushing down the street. You couldn't. It's weird to think that, right? Like the guys we grew up skating, like, that was like a huge part of the videos. You know what I mean? Or like a majority of Steve Sires of them part was them pushing down the fucking street.
Yeah, not just going down the alleys and.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, do you guys just roll from your car to the fence?
Dude, I heard this, like that Nigel would call his photographer, tell him to go to the spot, set up the fucking flashes and everything, like get ready. Then he'd show up in his car, do the trick, and leave. Like it was
Nigel's the boss. Nigel ain't got time for y'all. I'm fucking Nigel. Nigel ain't got time for y'all.
No, I know. He's the shit, but I'm just like, fuck, where's the fun aspect?
Nigel's probably somewhere DJing with some random ass white chicks and random ass Swedish white chicks. He's doing some shit he ain't got no business. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That dude's in this fucking trophy room and shit, doing a DJ set. Got some weird chicks dancing around him like this.
Yeah, they were like, they're on the Instagram. He was like out in some crazy festival, and you just like, whoa, these guys with like 5 girls.
My man was partying with the Avatar people.
Oh, for sure. Man.
Yeah, man. He seems. I like. I just saw him too, which I think is really fucking cool. I just saw a thing of him, and I forgot. I think it was Uninterrupted. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but he said he had a thing where he was talking about Black skateboarders, and I thought it was cool to see him on a platform like that saying how there needs to be more Black skateboarders and things like that. And what I think, one thing I definitely want to address when there's younger people talking about, Black skateboarders or skateboarders, period, is they're going to have a tier that they start at. You know what I mean? And you can't expect much from that tier. You know what I'm saying? So all you can really do is let them know like what was going on before that instead of being frustrated with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be mad at somebody that their favorite Black skateboarder is Stevie Williams. Like they don't, you know what I mean? It's like that's their tier. That's where they started off at, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course they're going to know that. Like, I didn't know about Marty Grimes until I was much older. Like I didn't know about Chuck Treese. I didn't know about that cover until I was much older. And that was a year before I started skating. You know what I mean? So it's going to take some time for these people to learn this kind of shit. You know what I mean? they might be resistant, they might be cocky and shit like that, but that's absolutely fine. You know what I mean? We were too. That's absolutely cool. But, you know, I think that's something to address is like that they're not expected to know much. And that's kind of where people like myself and you, and that's where we step in at, you know, to like have these guys on and talk to them and explain to these guys who they are. And I think it's important, you know, whether it's black, white, or anyone, it's important to talk about the history of skateboarding because a lot of these guys matter. And there was a time in skateboarding where there wasn't a lot of money. There wasn't a lot of shit, you know, and like, and there wasn't a lot of money, but the community is what kept it going. You know what I mean? And there wasn't a lot of bullshit in the community. You know, there wasn't a lot of shit. Like it wasn't gatekeeping. There wasn't a gate to keep. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't. Like there was just like everybody was like get down or lay down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was at the end of the day. So those people who were around at that time are very important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like they helped keep skateboarding alive. You know, they kept me going, and I know a lot of other people, and I want them to know they're not fucking forgotten, man. That's important for people, man. No one should sit around and feel like they wasted their time whatsoever. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Who were some of your guys?
Some of my guys growing up?
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
man.
Were you in tune with Ron Allen or not till later?
I mean, Ron Allen I thought Ron Allen was a white guy at first until I saw him in the magazine because someone showed me the board. You know what I'm saying? I had a white dude on the board. I thought it was a white dude. I did. I was just like, I thought it was a cool board. My friend had the board. And at the time, my friend was really into Brand Nubian and I forgot who else. So he, you know, it was a shifting time for me. And it was when I first met like Spanish skaters and shit. You know, like I didn't even know there was like really Spanish people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Florida's fucked up like that, dude. Like I didn't like, and this isn't like, there wasn't a lot of Spanish people around. You know what I'm saying? So like when I saw a bunch of them skating and they all lived in kind of the same neighborhood and hung out together, like they were San Salvadorian, some were Spanish, and I was just like, I clicked with them, you know what I mean? They took me on like a little brother, and they had a friend too, this guy, Andre, and he lives in Chicago now. He's real, man. He's like showed me everything, man. He showed me Xclan, Brand Nubian, KRS. Like he put me on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I first started skating, dude, I was hanging with some knuckleheads, dude. I was on the way. I was on my way down, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people like skateboarding saved my life. I'll be real shit with you, dude. I would have been in some shit. Like I was in all them terrible schools. Like I was not on a good path. You know, I was a smart guy. I fucking hated school. I could deal with authority. I just fucking hated school. I didn't like the people at school. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I knew that wasn't a place for me. I knew I wanted to learn, but I knew that wasn't a place for me, if that made sense. So I started getting a lot of trouble in school, and I went to like these like terrible schools for kids. Like first one I went to is Darnell Cookman. You go for 45 days. I mean, 44 days. Fucked up on the last day. Had to start over. Fucking went to that shit for almost 90 days. Got out. Started getting kicked out of high schools and shit, junior highs again. Fuck. I went to the school Johnny Ford. Johnny Ford is like the worst of it. It's where they send you before they send you to the boys' ranch. You know what I mean? Like
shit.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. And so I was in Johnny Ford, dog. This shit was crazy, dude. It was like where all the crazy dude. It was where all the crazy people went. And my dumb ass is in there skating. I remember I had 2 classes. It was like math, science, and I had wood shop for like 4 hours. They let us whole fucking crazy pool. These people were stabbed and shot people. There was pregnant chicks in there. I remember I made a little Thrasher sign, dude. These dudes was like, nigga, what the fuck is Thrasher?
Oh, shit.
I'm serious, dude. So I was, you know what I mean? Like I was a kid, so I was already like an outlier. And within my community, I was even, so it was just everything was going bad. And I guess I just ran into the right kids. It was Dre and them, and it was Jose and them guys, and they liked skating, and they weren't fucking hillbillies. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
No one was gonna say the hard R out of nowhere, and I was gonna be disappointed. And so I had some friends for once. You know what I'm saying? And they showed me Savannah Slammer and Mark Gonzalez, and man, that shit just opened my eyes, dude, like to so much skating. But what was funny is I already had the skills from all the hillbilly dudes skating vert and shit. So like when I transitioned to street, it wasn't that hard for me. Like it wasn't like, I don't know, like not saying I'm like, it just wasn't that hard. Like that lap over, I guess because I started in 86 and I jumped right into vert and shit. That lap over wasn't that hard. It wasn't hard for me to learn how to do flip tricks and ollie and like, you know what I'm saying? And also at that time too, a lot of people benefit off of, remember when everyone used to turn their boats upside down?
Yeah.
Man, that shit helped me out. So I don't care what no one says, dude. That shit helped me. I took them to the shins, to the knees, but that shit helped me because it helped me learn how to ollie, helped me learn how to. And then when I figured out how to level up the board, I took the bolts off. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, it was on. It was like I figured out everything. I would watch everyone, and I remember like someone had a Neil Blender board, and it had like a wider nose.
I love this Neil Blender, man.
It was the one with all the faces, and I was like, yo, I bet if I had a wider nose. And I talked to, who did I talk to about this? Jason Rogers. I was like, yo, I got a Steve Douglas, I remember. And I went to this contest, and it was shaped like the fucking beer glass. Remember that joint?
I had that one too, yeah.
Yeah, you had that joint?
Yeah, the Schmidt sticks.
Yeah, Schmidt sticks joint. I bought the joint, and fucking it broke, yo. I was so mad, dog. I broke the nose off that shit. I forgot what I was doing off the launch ramp because I was riding backwards. I was like, man, I'm about to stun on him. Broke that joint. I remember being mad as fuck. But I remember after that day, dude, I was like street skating just for some reason, like, I don't know. Everything became super simple. I don't know why. Like, I think it was like the day of pivots because I could never 50-50 because I could always like pivot or nose pivot. Like I couldn't fit. I was terrified to 50-50. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that era where everyone was doing the nose picks, Ray Barbie and fucking all the backside pivot. That was all my shit. But when 50-50s and all that shit came, I was like, yo, like I couldn't, you know what I mean?
Right. I can do one truck, but I ain't doing both.
Dude, my skating was so backwards, dude. It's so funny thinking back then. But you know, some of my guys were always like some of my first favorite guys were. I remember I liked Mark Gonzalez. I was telling someone this the other day. Mark Gonzalez was my guy because I remember watching Savannah Slam and I never could get skate clothes. My mom always thought they were very expensive, so I'd always wear I wear cool outfits, I thought. And he had the UCLA joint with the hat, and I was like, yo, yes. I was like, yes, I can finally wear my shit. You know what I mean? So I remember going and getting like the matching, at a UNLV hat and shirt, and like I just remember him being like a heavy influence. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to slide. I had like Converse. I had Adidas and shit. So yeah, Heavy was a huge influence.
We went and bought so many paint pens when we saw like his board. We're like, oh, we all of a sudden we're artists. Like,
I wasn't into that shit. I wasn't no artist shit.
We were doing anything he did. We would go get the mailman pants. Like we would do whatever. We'd be like, Mark was like for sure the most inspirational. Like everything he did was like the coolest in our mind.
That's so dope. Yeah, man. It's funny because I caught the other end of that. Like I came in with like the DK and shit. You put the shit on your grip tape. You know what I'm saying? So I remember going around all my friends. I was writing out. They were like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, dog, this shit is hard. Everybody's looking at me. I was like, y'all know about this DK shit? Like. I thought I was killing it. Everybody's looking at me, listening to Xclan and shit. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with this dude? Like,
The Mission, Black Nationalism, The Messengers, Xclan.
I don't know, it helped my drive in skating because I felt like all the dudes that I had grown up, all the dudes that I was kind of growing up with, they were a little older, and so they were kind of getting out. They didn't want to learn to street skate, as we were saying earlier. They didn't care to. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were cool with just going to the ramp, and I wasn't cool with that shit. You know what I mean? I wanted to fucking skate. I want to skate everything. I want to skate, man, all day, all night.
Yeah,
No
those
matter
are the
where.
ones that appeal to me, right? Like the all-terrain vehicle is like, fuck, Alan Peterson, fucking Cardiel, Wade Spire. Those guys were just skate everything, anything. You put them at a demo, they'd fuck it up, like whatever. That's
Yeah.
what we were attracted to. We didn't want like Pierre-Luc Gagnon, like, just back and forth on the ramp. Every trick he can do, but then he has to walk his board back to the car because he can't push down that kind of shit was crazy. So
Yeah, dude, it's weird. It was
or like
crazy
seeing
to
a
see.
dude that can rip on street and he can't even drop in on a mini ramp, and you're like, what the
Dude,
like
that,
I've seen pros that could not drop in on a mini ramp. I was just like, damn.
that's very and it's strange because we've always been like, what are you gonna do when you get to the demo?
Yeah.
Like I think growing up, we just always knew there was something like that there. So you had to be prepared for that kind of shit, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to be like ready. You know what I'm saying? There could be a tight ass bank there. You might want to have a tight ass bank trick. You know what I mean? And like you got to hit a big ass. Man, think about this back in the day. They have a platform that was like 4 foot tall with a hip on one side, a fucking handrail going down it with PVC rails. You know what I'm saying? You have to come off that, hit a jump ramp. Then hit like someone probably have a boat flipped over or something. You had to hit a lot of shit in a contest. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the same thing over. It wasn't like the same kind of ledge, but a little longer down this, or same rail a little long. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot more challenging. You had to find a line and then go skating. And I think that's something that's very defining that a lot of people don't think about. You weren't skating around. You weren't showing up with some fucking headphones and like doing your fucking 60-second run to your favorite fucking rap tune. That shit wasn't happening. You were trying to get your trick in on this spot, and then you were trying to get trick on that spot. And when your time came, you better hope your ass was practicing before you got there. You had to do the line when the time came. And that's what separated a lot of dudes. And that's when you found out who the fuck was who. You'll see somebody fucking off in practice. You'll think shit's sweet. Dude getting his run, he does a fucking hurricane down the rail. You're like, oh shit. You got a problem. There was a lot of that back in the day. You didn't know what was coming. So I think that's what made skateboarding a lot more interesting back then. It's nothing to take away from the guys now. I just really think there's a lot of more elements that made it interesting back then, whether it been the obstacles or how you had to look at the course. Like, you weren't getting there with the dude that built the fucking course. You know what I'm saying? Like what you doing all that? You couldn't do all that, dog. Like, and that's great they can do that, but the element of being able to like shock people is what made skateboarding really fucking cool.
Absolutely.
And the top 10 people did not skate alike. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a huge difference in the top 10 people. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like who did the most this and this on this or the hardest trick on this. It was judged a little differently. I think that's fair to say, right?
Sure. I mean, even like Del Mar, the classic Hosoi versus Hawk, right? Like they're totally different skaters, but they were head to head all the time. And in the streets, like, I mean, it was weird that Hosoi is a street skater, but the street contests were set up that way, and you got someone like Tommy Guerrero, and then up next is Bill Danforth. I mean, these are completely different, right? And but they're in the top 10 at least. It
was cool the way it was set up. It was like it had a lot to do with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill Danforth killed that contest, but he had the whole fucking stadium rocking. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that, dude. Like, imagine you watch that shit. That shit brings tingles to me. I'm like, yo, that shit look like a fucking Iron Maiden concert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit was dope, dude. And like being a kid and seeing that, and like that's the dudes you want to meet. Yo, I want to meet that dude. You know what I'm saying? That dude to start his run off and slap this boy. Like, that's the dude I want to meet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to meet the dude just sitting there with a cute ass fucking patch on his shirt. I don't meet that dude. I meet that crazy ass looking dude that's fucking that acid dropped off that 9-foot wall. That's who I want to meet at the con. You know what I mean? Like the dude that looked like he showed up in a van, in a kidnapper van. That's the dude I want to meet. You know, so them dudes made skating like interesting and cool, and you know, and there's so many. I thought it was cool how it was so open back then, but it was so many different people. Like you could see a Chris Cook in the same place you could see a Tommy Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope. You know what I mean? So like all of skateboard fans were there. Think how crazy this would be. Think like going back to them YouTube dudes that everyone hates. Imagine if them YouTube dudes showed up to SLS. Man, that should have been turned as fuck. That shit like a fucking NSYNC concert. That shouldn't be turned out, you know.
He's got his carpet board. The other guy's got 40 wheels on his board. They're like,
them dudes can do all the commercials for him. You know what I'm saying? They can be the intermission. Yeah, that shit turned out, dog. Them dudes ain't thinking. Hey, them dudes should hit me up. I'll take them dudes on an all-black fucking circus trip. I swear to God. I fucking love them dudes. I love that shit. I want to be on their show. What's that black dude's name on that show? Roger or some shit. He looks like the dude from What's Happening. He looks like Raj. He seems like a nice guy. I think he's got a good job too.
Well, if you come out here, they're right across the bay. They got the whole compound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've gone and skated the Verramp in Navarrete before, and like their whole thing is like they got so many novelty thing, like, you know, a board with carpet on it, like 40 wheels, 8 trucks, like all these different things, and they do tricks on it. And then it's just like clickbait because you're like, the most wheels ever on a kickflip or something.
I love that shit. You know, I love it. They piss everybody off. They're my new favorite people. I swear to God. I love them. They can come eat chicken with me anytime.
It's funny, right? Because you kind of look at punk differently. Like that's kind of punk. Dude, they're the outcasts, right? They're the people that are like not giving a fuck, doing this other shit. And it's like, you know, that's kind of what drew us to skateboarding was we weren't cool and we loved it. Because we didn't want to be with the cool guys. We didn't want to be with the jocks and like the homecoming king or whatever it was. It was like, we want to be just, okay, you're going to hit us into lockers. We're going to go skate. Fuck you.
I mean, shit, everything ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, and like, that's their thing, man. It's like, at the end of the day, that's just, everything ain't for everybody. They ain't supposed to be part of the ENB crew and all that shit. Like, that's what they do. There's room for that shit. Skate's 2024, man. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to watch the same dudes and listen to the same shit. Like, nah, man. It's like, and plus it's for kids, dude.
They are the future. They are the future kids.
For sure.
People forget we were young once. We just didn't have no cool shit like that. Like, what do fucking do? Who are we to tell kids what's cool? Like, no, dude, it's not cool.
Who sent you?
Of course I'm not supposed to think it's cool. I'm fucking almost 50. Who thinks anything's cool? Look at these dudes on the internet. They don't like nothing. Nobody likes nothing. So why even pay attention to it? They're doing great. You know what I mean? If they try to attract what's not for them, that would probably not be a great idea.
Yeah, but those dudes need to get one of those light tables because they're always in the dark all day. They don't even go outside. If they just got a little bit vitamin D in their life, they might be happier, you know?
Hey, if I got paid, I'm YouTube. I wouldn't go outside and look at y'all either.
Yeah, to each their own. Like they don't bother me. I seen Gosser at the UM Plaza, and it was so funny because he came with a tripod and a GoPro and set it up, and he's filming himself, and he's doing this. It's a 360-degree rail, and he's trying to go around the whole thing. And it was so cool to just, I mean, I don't know if it's cool or not, but he was going in and he like watched the footage. He's like, didn't go far enough. And then he's like, he's a one-man production. He's like filmer, editor, producer, and skater, you know?
That's so dope, dude. Like look, he's committed to excellence, dude. That is fucking great. He ain't sitting around waiting on Socrates. Hey. At least he ain't like some fucking old skate dudes with a fucking dad cam shooting fucking random shit in the driveway. Just like Phil Jackson breaking free throws and shit. The fuck is that? One day, you gotta be dangerous like me. One day I jumped the fence in the park here in Orlando and I was skating a bowl by myself. And I was like, you know what, if I crack my fucking coconut in here, I'm not gonna be able to call the fucking ambulance, and I'm in here by myself. So maybe I should have been skating in my fucking driveway. Like, but yeah, shit like that. I'm like, I got no helmet, I got no pads. I'm just skating this big ass bowl by myself, and I'm like trying to film some like cool little thing, and like kept dropping in the deep end, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm gonna fucking die in this thing. Just by myself. It's like 8 or 9 in the morning, it's like a regular like February afternoon. I feel like at our age, man, there's nothing wrong with challenging yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. You challenge other people's beliefs all day on a fucking line, get your ass outside and challenge yourself on a skateboard. Yeah, straight up, dude. Like, yeah.
Blood Wizard. Blood Wizard. Blood Wizard. Blood Wizard! Shop.bloodwizard.com.
Tickety-tack.
Hey, it's Corey at Blue Plate, 3218 Mission Street. Come see us. Meatloaf, fried chicken, deviled eggs, Dollar Olympia beers. We're here every day of the week. We got a garden, and we got smiles on our faces. Come let us make you happy.
Well, I want to end it with a discussion about Black History Month, because it's February, it's Black History Month, and I got some ideas about this, but I'm wondering what your ideas on it are. I told you when I was talking about this, like something that really stuck in my head was Steph Curry talking about it and saying, no, February is not Black History Month. Every month is Black History Month, right? And I just... Yeah. Me and my wife, we don't really make a huge deal about Valentine's Day because we love each other all year, like that vibe. But if they're going to give you a platform to kind of like give some shine and stuff, you take it, right? I mean, it's not like... Yeah,
there's literally nothing wrong with it. It's not like it's a fucking national holiday and people get to take off work. If people got off work for the month, they'd be celebrating Black History Month like it was no fucking other. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers out here buy all kinds of fucking swim trunks and bikinis for 4th of July and shit. And it's like, motherfuckers spend thousands of dollars for fucking Christmas for a fucking month. Spend thousands of dollars to put lights in their fucking yard for a month and have a problem with fucking Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you got to think about the context when people say shit like that. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with people that have a problem with it. That's what the problem is. Realistically, man, like, I don't give a fuck. If I can take that time to, and there's already some awareness to it and teach some people some shit, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's also, this is another great thing to point out. I've never heard anyone be like, you post too many white people ever in my fucking life. Never. Ever in the history of me posting. So there's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with how people take it. That in itself should be studied more than, man, is this okay month? It's like, bitch, no one asked you if it's an okay month. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? It's how you take it. Like, maybe get off the fucking internet. Maybe quit following people that like support, like, who fucking, like, there's a million things you could be mad at besides that. That's why I go back to fucking Henry. I'm like, dog, what is your fucking problem? Like, this clearly bothers you. That should be something you should look at. You know what I'm saying?
Whether you're giving shine to Black skaters, or I don't know what you're talking about, really.
Every time I've mentioned anything with race and skateboarding, it triggers him. And this is being very honest. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it's kind of a running joke with me and my friends, because every time I just ended up blocking him tonight, because I'm like, dude, this guy clearly has a problem with me mentioning anything, because he starts bringing up, like, what the fuck did he say tonight? This is how it started. I posted a thing with the nigger licorice board. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, go to my IG right now.
Okay.
It's a company that did a board called Nigger Boy Licorice. Nigger Boy Licorice was a licorice company.
Licorice cigarettes. Whoa. That's a real thing?
That's a skateboard, yes. I got that from the Skateboarding Hall of Fame. They refused to put it up. Yeah, there's a cool story behind it. You can read it when you get off the phone. It's really not a cool story. I'm sorry, it sounded fucked up. But he comes in there, right? And he's like, damn crackers or something. And I'm like, I go, it's almost as bad as your rap video.
Oh shit. Oh
Yeah.
no.
So then he goes on something about, he's like, you always get pissed when it's someone that's not black. He does it every time I mention something about it. It's never like, you know what I'm saying? It's something triggers him to see racism being called out. Like he thinks like it's almost like he doesn't want to make people think it exists, or maybe he doesn't want it to exist, or maybe he wants to draw attention from it. But for some reason, this is not the first time this has happened. I'm not just making this up. I really don't even have the time to make this up. So he comes like, damn cracker. And then something about making tacos and naming them Juan. And I'm like, dude, this guy has no idea what a Hoppin' John is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, I forgot what the fuck I said to him, but it was something pretty brutal that I said to him. And I was just like, why am I even having this conversation with him? You know what I mean? Like, why am I lowering myself to a conversation with someone that clearly has a problem before we're even having a conversation? That's not a conversation to be had, you know? So that's how I feel about anyone that wants to oppress any kind of message. It's fucking lack. It takes away from the message. The message isn't fuck white people. It isn't, it's all about us. It isn't about diversity. It's about educating people on shit that happened not even fucking half a fucking century ago. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is very relevant stuff. You know, it's like, if this stuff bothers you, you don't even want to talk about the actual shit, which is fine. You don't have to. You don't even have to engage in these conversations. That's what I don't understand about that kind of stuff. I don't get into conversations or even follow people I don't fuck with like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just something I don't do.
I feel the same way. It's kind of like listening to radio that talks about everything you hate. You're just going to get angry.
Yeah. Like I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch the fucking news. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like I don't have a preference for bullshit. It's stupid at this point, and things I don't believe in. I fucking hate mayonnaise. I wouldn't go out and look for a bunch of shit that has mayonnaise on it and be in the post like, fucking mayonnaise is like who does that? It's just a weird, eerie thing. And so Black history it's very important. It's American history, man. At the end of the fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's American history, and it's an ugly side of American history. But if we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat. We're doomed to repeat it in some way or fucking another, or not be able to understand it if it happens to you in any kind of way, or if you see it and you're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? It's like, it shouldn't be shocking to see a lot of this shit in 2024. You can still go a lot of places in the South and see plantations and slave shacks still standing. Why the fuck are they there? Like, what does that say about us as people? You know what I mean? Not me and you, but what the fuck does that say about society? Period.
Do you think though that it's a reminder like this, like you said, this happened 50 years ago or whatever, like just to kind of like put it out there to be like, hey, we can't repeat, like this was fucked.
I think it's a reminder to be like, it's a reminder to be like, hey, motherfuckers, like, y'all remember this shit. You know, that shit can be torn down. You know what I mean? It can be fucking torn down. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, they want to tear down statues, but they don't want to tear down that.
They tear down fucking Church's Chicken.
And they're burning books.
He's like, you ain't burning books. Dude, get the fuck out of here. They're like, they can tear that shit down. Like, what is it's not historical. Like, and the government fucking gives money for that shit. And I'm not even one of those weird tinfoil hat dudes. It's like, why is that there? It makes you think, and it makes you think like, why are people oppressed to people hearing and seeing and talking about this shit? People should think about that kind of shit. People should think about that more than they think about the shit that's already happened. It's like, you need to be thinking about motherfuckers that's right here that don't want you to know this shit. That's what you need to be working. There's a reason to keep you ignorant. You know what I mean? And that's to keep you smaller. And you don't want to stay small. Your fucking brain's there for a reason, man. Use that shit. Use it for good. Don't use it. That's what I'm saying. This shit isn't divisive material or nothing like that. If you find it like that, you're probably not using your fucking brain for good. You're finding a reason to not like it. You know, like I read into a lot of history. You know, this just happens to be a month to where all eyes are on this kind of stuff, and it's cool. You know, a lot of people have been tuning into it for a very long time. I started doing the skateboard aspect of it about 14 years ago on my Facebook. And then, you know, I started doing it really small. And I think one of my first ones way back it was something, I forget. I remember one of my first ones was Don Hillsman in the 540, because I remember I was like, I hit up Burnett and I was like, y'all got that off of me or some shit. Like, he's probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? It's probably in a Thrasher or something. But yeah, dude, it's I like doing it, dude. You know, I think it's cool to mix in the skating with the history. I think it's really, really cool. You know, it's a cool thing. You know what I mean? It's cool that a lot of people it's got me a lot of followers because it's not what people want to make it to be.
For sure, yeah.
I think that's the most important thing out of it all. You know, it's having the right ears, and there's going to be a lot of wrong ones in there. Everything you do isn't going to be accepted. And a lot of skateboarders, they want to talk, but they don't want to talk about shit that matters. They want to talk about themselves. I made a post about it today. I had Drake, and it said like Black History. And it was like, no, it said Black Skateboard History. And it was like, yeah. That's how people think. You know what I mean? It is. That's how people think. It's interesting. It's like when I do the fucking Guess the Skater post. Those are so funny, man, because people don't know who they're looking at, dude. You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's so crazy. Isn't skateboarding fucking wild like that? It's like, you've been skateboarding, you claim you've been skateboarding since 1986, and you don't know who the fuck you're looking at most of the time. Yeah, whatsoever. And you're so sure of yourself that you would, instead of waiting for the answer, you will blurt it out. You will jump in there and blurt it. And then probably be offended that someone like me laughs at you. It's crazy. Isn't it, man?
Yes,
and that's why I think Black skateboarding history is very important. It's like, yo, man, can you quit mixing everybody up? Don't mix everyone up. Everyone isn't from the same area. They're not from the same era. They're not from the same state. They're not from the same sponsors. They're not from the same videos. Like quit mixing everyone up, man. Like, and if the fucking magazine somebody don't want to do it, I'd be glad to do it. And a lot of those brothers deserve.
I think it's cool. I think the way that you do it too is cool. Like the living dangerously. Like, hey, I'm about to say some shit. Like, you know what I mean? And like you're putting it out there, and like, yeah, you might not like it, but this is what I'm thinking. Like, and our opinions create our personality.
Yes, you know, I think that's very important to stand on what you say, man. Just say what you want to say and get it the fuck out. Leave room for discussion, but no room for bullshit discussion. You know what I mean? It's like just leave the facts and make it a little funny sometimes. And a lot of people don't like to read, so you have to deal with that. You have to deal with that variable when you're writing on like Instagram and stuff like that. But I do appreciate the people that do read the stuff. You know, I think it's dope. I think it's really cool. You know, it's very flattering that people that you can keep people interested in something.
I was just looking through the Insta because I didn't want to misquote it, but the one you put up Samaria for the cover, and it was like, this not only deserves its own post, it should just be spoken about more by both men and women. Picture is skateboarding legend Samaria Brevard, the first Black woman to ever grace the cover of Thrasher Mag. All praises due. Like,
yes.
What can you say about that except for amen, right? Like, I mean,
dude.
Samaria, like the first time I met her, she tray flipped the double set. I was just like, what the fuck?
I mean, just shit like that. It's like, it's weird that it would, you know, I know Thrasher put it out and shit like that, but even from a lot of my peers and the younger guys, it's like, dog, this shit matters, man. You know what I'm saying? this shit matters. You're not thinking about it right now. This shit matters. That is huge. Having a female on the cover is huge, period.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Having a black female on the cover, you can't even name 5 black females that skateboard without Googling. You know what I'm saying? That's why that fucking matters. You know, a little black girl could see that. That's just walking through the grocery store, their mom would be like, you know, and then get home and then just start looking through, like, skateboard. You never know. That little bit of representation matters, man, a lot. It might not matter to a lot of people, but it matters. It's kind of shocking to not see a lot of support for a lot of the female, especially black female skaters. It's kind of shocking, you know what I mean? Like, you would expect to see that, especially from all these bliggity black dudes and shit. You know what I'm saying? You would expect that. It ain't like that. You know, a lot of people gotta remember that shit. It ain't like that. It ain't like how people think it is. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to be all that shit, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of people can't really make a lot of them calls. The end all be all of that discussion. You can have a lot of say, but you can't make the final call at the end of the day of who is and who ain't. You know what I'm saying? Because you probably ain't really writing a lot of checks. That's how a lot of companies go. But I think it's really cool how Darren is doing with his daughters. I think that's very cool how he's keeping it within himself. That's something that can be easily exploited. He has a different vision for them, and I think that's dope. And I think it's dope that he takes control of it as a parent and as a manager. That's very important. We didn't have those resources. You know what I mean? We didn't. And so that's good to have, man, to have your parents in your corner before you make it. That's a whole different ball game.
Absolutely.
That's a whole different ball game. Look at Ryan Sheckler. Luis Lopez. I remember meeting his dad at contests when I was a kid. I was like, yo, man, this kid's going to be huge.
His dad's the coolest. Yeah.
But I was so hyped, man. I'd be so hyped to see his dad. Every time I'd be like, man, what's up? You know, we didn't have that. We didn't have that guidance. That little bit of guidance is what could have took us from, like, not being alcoholics from 19 to 26. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm serious as shit, dude. I don't know. I'm psyched for some area. I think that's awesome, man. I think that's just something that a lot of people don't think about. I couldn't even say who the first black female was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I'd probably have to look her up. You know, what was the tennis player's name in the 70s? I can't even think of her name without looking it up. But, like, it's just one of those moments. You know what I mean? When like I don't think people are it's gonna take them looking back to get it.
Deemer just got the cover like 2 months ago, and she's never had it. And they call her, I mean, she's arguably the GOAT of female skating. And so, and it was a huge deal to her. I'm friends with her, and I talked to her, and she's just like, that was like a life hammer.
Having a cover of Thrasher, period, is dope, dude. You know what I mean? That's a hallmark for any skateboarder. And, you know, that's a huge accomplishment for Alyssa. I'm super psyched for her. You know, that's fucking great, man. Like, there's certain things in skateboarding a lot of people aim for, and having the cover of Thrasher is one of them. And I think Burnett's doing a great job over there, opening it up. And
it's the only mag left. The photos that are coming to him must just be like, every photographer is like, hey, you want to use my photo?
Yeah, dude. You know what's crazy is this month, too, it's been really cool. I've been getting a lot of photos and shit, too. So I can tell you this. Fuck it, I'll tell you this. So I've been slowly working on a magazine, little magazine. Yes, it's going to be kind of wrapped around the podcast. And it's going to be the size of Jet magazine. Remember that magazine, the little one? Mm-hmm. It's going to be the size of that. And I already got the content, most of the content for it. But just this month alone, I've been getting so many photos of people that, you know, I kind of wanted to keep it like black centric, you know, so you know, like if you know Jet, you know exactly where I'm going. Like, it doesn't have to be all black people, but it's kind of, it's going to be dope. And like, it's only going to be like, the first issue is probably like 25, 30 pages. And I've been getting a lot of really cool photos this month of like Fred Reeves and all these guys. And I'm like, dude, thank you, Jesus. This is exactly what I've wanted. So That's the next project I'm going to work on.
Dude, you inspire so much, man. You're driven. I love it. Like sometimes I'm kind of burning out and I'll talk to you and I'm like, fuck that. Here we go. You're like, dude, I just did 12 interviews and I'm about to do this. I got to go to Tampa for Cook. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, fuck.
Dude, I just stay busy, man. It's
sick.
I'd like to skate more, man. That's yeah. I'm psyched tomorrow. You know, I'm gonna finish up Jerron's episode tonight. I just gotta I just gotta think. Dude, I gotta hear. I'll let you hear it.
Your body's feeling good though?
Yeah, dude, my body's feeling great. I ride my bike, I walk a lot. I don't do hood rat shit, dude. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm like, only thing I do is like eat a lot of candy. Other than that, I'm fucking healthy.
Huh.
Yeah, I eat a lot of candy. I smoke weed. That's like I literally just sit in my house and work out. I leave my house, I ride my bike, I go walking. I'm gonna play this for you. I got a special guest for you. Hold on.
Ooh, we are back.
Man, like skate is very rare. It was like it's almost like a little dream, bro. You know.
This is Chris Roberts from the 9 Club. You are listening to Jerron Wilson and Clyde Singleton on WCRP. Hey, don't forget to catch my new show. I'm glad I'm not me on YouTube. Shameless plug. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
You came into the tail end.
Crazy, right?
That's awesome that you got Jerron on there, though. He's solid. I love Jerron.
Jerron's a great guy, man. His story is fucking incredible, dude. Like, it's like I didn't know. Actually, Eddie Radigan put him on, dude. So crazy, dude. That's what I'm saying. What's funny? This is so funny. We're doing this tonight. Last time I had to go to Tampa, I did this exact same thing. I fucking tried to do a pop up the night before. I came back in like, what time is it? It's like 12. So I got back in like 12:31, right? I was like, fuck it. I'm staying up all night finishing the Tony Hawk interview. Finished in the middle of the night. On the way there, I posted it in the car like halfway asleep. Like literally, it was just like halfway fucking asleep. Then I was like, I'm not even making a fucking video reel to whatever. I was like, I just make it whenever. I was like, but like Jerron's, I'm pretty sure I can get his audio done tonight, which I can get it done in like next hour or two because he's a great talker. You know what I mean? Like it's like us talking. You know, it's like it's easy to fucking cut, and it's not like some people where you got to cut out the hard R and shit. Like,
this is Lance Conklin, and you are Talkin Schmit.
Yep. This one can just go up live, man. I'm getting more confident that you could just do a live one.
Dude, I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it, dude.
With the people putting their questions in the thing and like,
man, dude,
interacting.
I don't need fucking Henry Sanchez sitting up in his fucking car all sweaty, fucking getting in my fucking live feed. You know what I'm saying? All sweaty after doing some fucking manual. All bad in my live feed. I don't need that shit. You know what I'm saying? I need that shit in my life. I don't. Just angry and shit. Like, I should have been on fucking Girl. Oh, man. Have you talked to Welsh lately?
About 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I saw him. I went over to Supreme and I seen him for a minute, but I got to get coffee with him. Rob's the best.
Fucking Welsh, dude. I still text him every once in a while. He's fucking, I love that guy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Man, I need to hit Joey up. I haven't spoken to Joey. Dude, you know what? Check this out. So Jimmy Garecki and I, you know, Jimmy makes like clothing. Jimmy does like all kinds of, he's a garment guy. That's like his thing. He's very big in that now, like very big. So I had an idea about 2 months ago. It's funny because the box is still sitting on my floor. So I hit up Bobby Boyd at Dickies. I was like, dude, send me a bunch of Dickies. He's like, what's that? I was like, dude, I have a fucking idea. It's great. It's like, well, I was like, I'm going to make aprons. So he sends me a bunch of, I was like, just all different kinds of fabrics, patterns, whatever. He's like, all right, dude. Sends me like 6 pair of like random Dickies, all different fabrics, designs. So I was going to cut them up into like 4 different parts and then get them sewn together and make aprons. You know what I mean? Like cut out the legs. And so that'd go, like I had this whole thing in my head. Now I was like stoning one night. I was like, dude, And I was like, the pocket. I was like, the pocket will be the pocket in the front. I was like, I'm a fucking genius, dude. I was like, I had this all figured out in my head. I was like, the fucking waistband can be the thing around the neck. This is a fucking genius move. So he sends me out of the pants, and then I just go on complete work mode. All this shit's going on. And so one day I was like, Jimmy, my hands are too full. Can you do this for me, dude? Yeah, sure. So I hit him up and I was like, hey man, this is like 2 weeks ago. I was like, Tampa's coming up. You think what's the possibility of maybe getting some samples? I'm doing food at Tampa this year. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was like, dude, I'm getting some cutting boards, man. I'm getting all kinds of shit. I'm going in heavy. Andy Howe might be swinging through with the fucking RV. This is some weird shit's going on. So yeah, some weird shit's going on. So hit Jimmy up. I'm like, dude, I know you do cutting, so I know that's your shit. So he took me back tonight, and so I think we're going to get these done with this guy
for Tampa.
Yeah, custom aprons. So I will have Cooking with Clyde aprons coming out soon. I'm also doing some cutting boards, some small like pizza boards and some like cheese boards as well. They're made out of reclaimed skateboards, and we're going to get the little Cliver graphic. We're going to get that in there. And I have hot sauce, which I told you after the first batch. I've already talked to her. She messaged me as I was talking to you. After I do my batch, I don't want to do a second batch. I want to do a 4-pack and it's going to be like, say, me, Stedham, Don Hillsman, or it'd be like me, Sal, Don Hillsman, Stedham. That'd be a 4-pack of hot sauce with everyone's graphic on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to keep these projects to myself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I want to work with people. I think it's important to work with people.
I agree. Yeah. For sure.
It's not that it lessens the load. Like I like work, and so if everyone's working, everyone has a common goal, and we all have the resources to work together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's super fucking important, and to think about that kind of shit. Like we can keep ourselves, keep ourselves above board and bring everyone else on the ship too. And it's better to understand people than to, try to come to everywhere with your knife out. And I've learned these things myself the last year. It helps me interact with people better. You know what I mean? It helps me know.
That's what I was going to say. The social aspect.
Oh man, it's very hard. It's very hard socially when I quit drinking to get out, and super fucking hard, man. And then I was trying to work with people, and I was just like, I know that I can't do everything myself. You know what I mean? And that's a hard pill to swallow. I do everything. I'm fucking Clyde.
But it also develops trust. Like you start to learn that other people are capable. Instead of being a control freak where you're like, it's not going to happen unless I do it. And that mentality is really tough. Like you need to be able to be like, you know what? I'm going to give you the keys to my car, and I know you're going to bring it back and it's not going to be scratched.
Whoa, that was heavy.
You got to find the right match.
You do. And you got to trust yourself to be patient for that too. I've learned jumping into things, and
patience is huge.
Patience is huge, man. And and it helps me deal with people when I go out now too. It really does. I think I'm going to fucking Phoenix Am this year too, dude.
Oh, I might see you there. I think I might be going too.
Really?
Yeah. I usually go to that one.
Okay, because I spoke to Laura. I think we're going to talk again next week.
To do commentating or whatever?
No, to cook, dude.
Oh, cool.
I know, dude.
Yeah, dude, Laura and Trent are seriously the best. They're so cool. They always go out of their way to greet me when I come, to look me in the eyes and say thank you for coming, and then at the end give you a hug and say it was so great. You just feel this genuine thing with them that's so real. I love them a lot.
Man, they used to have me out. I went out there the year Shad won. I was announcing.
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah.
I've been looking for that photo of me and him, dude. He's just like, he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He was such a kid though, but
that was when it was at the other
year,
park.
I think I went another year, but man, I just showed my ass, dude. Like I just got so drunk, I pissed all over some girl's car, and they didn't ask me to come. I felt so bad because they were so nice to me too. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the first time I genuinely felt bad for like that, and I think when I peed in a fucking and where was it, Minneapolis. I peed inside a third layer.
Holy cannoli.
Between peeing inside a third layer and peeing inside of some girl's car in Phoenix, that's probably the two. Oh, actually, I peed on my ex-girlfriend's bed once and flipped the mattress. So those 3 times, I felt bad.
That's the move. You smell that? Nah.
Yeah, those 3 times I felt bad. I genuinely felt bad. And so Laura, when I spoke to Laura again, it was good. You know, it was good to connect with her. Skateboarders need that kind of shit, man. You know what we need to talk about too? We need to come back and talk about mental health. Shit should be talked about, like a lot, man.
100%.
Like, especially for older skaters. The guys who think they're too cool to talk about shit. And like the conversation could be had. It's just, you know, I feel like it could be a panel discussion too. You know what I'm saying? Like get a couple people that aren't fucking weirdos. They could, like, you know what I mean? That could like translate to some fucking people too.
I have a YouTube channel.
Let's talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people clearly ain't doing too good. Not saying I'm doing perfect, but a lot of people clearly ain't doing too good. And it's we're very small. Very small community, man. It's like shit should be discussed, period. Whether it's mental health or racism or nothing should be thrown under the rug.
Yeah, I mean, between addiction and mental health, I mean, we're seeing some of our best bros go down to those things. And mental health has been in my DNA since I was born. My dad had like agoraphobia, and I've had anxiety and different things through my whole life. So I've been in tune with like these things. And then when I see other people and see what they're dealing with and stuff, I'm definitely down to talk about that anytime.
Yeah, man. You see it a lot around the holidays too.
Yeah, the stress of like, you know, oh, I'm supposed to do this or like,
yeah,
whatever.
dude. And it's like the stress of what? A fucking holiday? Like I thought y'all thought Black History was fake. You know what I mean? Like you're mad about a fucking fat dude coming down the fucking chimney. Make your mind up. Like people just ain't. The shit ain't clicking. It's a lot of ego. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of like not letting go who they think they were or are, and you know, and it's a lot of you know, I was good at doing some tricks on a piece of wood, so I'm holier than thou shit. Something I always think about. Try not to, but it's something that should be spoke, or it's kind of ignored until it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I've seen through just working at Thrasher through all the years and having friends that, you know, have gotten older, you just see people being put on a pedestal as like, you know, they're this fucking god that can do no wrong and all this stuff, and they're amazing. But that only lasts for a little window. Like if you think about it, most pros, their peak, it's like 3 years, you know, like there's not.
That's being nice.
You know, like there's a shot out there. There's some guys that are going to like just skate for the rest of their life.
You got to think about this.
I'm just saying that after it's over, it's a big drop.
Okay. Even in our era, like there was very few people that were going consistently, dude, consistently putting out shit. I ain't gonna toot my own horn, but that's what kept me in the game, man. Like I consistently put out shit. Like there was no gaps. There was no gaps there, dude. There was no time to have gaps for it. That's how I thought, at least. Like you go wait on this video part. That ain't how I played the game. That's not how I looked at the game. I saw dudes coming in, putting in parts every year. I saw Sal and them putting in parts every fucking year. 89 and 94. Part. And whether that part got smaller or not, they were still putting out stuff until they generally wanted to step away and just kind of do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There weren't a lot of guys doing that in the mid 90s. You know, there's not a lot of receipts for a lot of shit. There's a lot of gaps. You know, there's a lot of photos. I couldn't take someone calling me washed up or something. Like, I'm still putting out shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit, I consistently have been putting out shit since 93. That shit matters at the end of the day. You know, and all the guys, the Markoviches, and all the guys that have consistently, like, Markovich goes way harder than me. I'm not putting myself on his path, but I'm saying, like, as in work consistency and staying within the skateboard culture, not on a fucking message board and shit like that. Like, and there's a lot of gaps with a lot of skaters from the 90s and even some from the early 2000s. You know, it's like, that's why they're kind of forgotten at this point. And it sucks, but they had the same opportunities we did. Everybody can't be Jason Lee. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't come out with that part every 3-4 years. Everybody waiting on you. You know, because some other shit comes out and it's real hard. And that just means you should have kept working the whole time. There's a small window of people that can hit video parts like, I'm going to come out, I'm going to drop every once in a while. That's the Genos and them dudes. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. Like, because you're like, they've always been those mysterious dudes. You know, the Julians. They've always been those mysterious dudes. And you're like, yo, they got a new part out. That's dope. You know, but then there's guys that constantly been putting shit out. And they don't get lost in the sauce like that. You know, I don't know if the internet's gassed them up or, you know, but in their head, they're larger than life. And they did all this and skateboarding. And it's like, dude, you probably had a video part or two. Colt Cannon put out 2 video parts a fucking year. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think about that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what makes you like, that dude is putting out video parts and skating in contests, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all forgot about him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes your career more? And that dude's fine. He ain't tripping. That's what I'm saying. The mental health comes from that confidence wasn't there. You know, the ego was there, but confidence was never there. The confidence was in the sponsors and being built up around the sponsors and the ads and the companies. And when you're the lone wolf, are you that confident? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're starting to see that shit. We're starting to see that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
People are different when they got a pack than when they're by themselves.
Yeah, when you running with a pack, you're tough. You know what I'm saying? You're running by yourself. You see the lone wolves can run by themselves. You know what I mean? Like, that's real as fuck, dude. That's real shit right there. People don't think about it. I used to be one of them people. You know, I felt like I needed assurance and self-reliance and fuck, you know, like I felt I lost it when I walked away from California, you know, and I really thought I did, you know, and I started burying myself in drinking and partying a lot. And that's where that shit comes from, man. It comes from, I used to jump online talking wild and shit. You know what I mean? I did all that shit. I know. That's why I said, man, it'd be great to have that discussion. That mental health part, that's got to be talked about, dude. Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah, and like even like the Ben Ramers Foundation and that stuff is like, that gets really heavy, you know? Like, we've lost dudes that we thought were like super stoked on life, but we didn't know what was going on inside. And then you see these guys that just end it and you're like, wait, what? And every time I've lost somebody, the first thing that comes to mind is usually like, what could I have done differently to make this not happen? Like you really tend, and I always try to stop myself and go, this ain't about me. You know, this person is gone and I'm fucking bummed and sad, but this ain't about me. I don't need to make it about me. Cause a lot of people do that, dude. And that's always been like I have a weird fucking pet peeve about that one. It's like all of a sudden all the photos come out, me and that guy that just died. It's like, dude, you never were even friends with that guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit drives me crazy. But we do need to check in with the ones we love and then like, yeah, I mean, talk about certain things that people might think that they're alone with. And I think like in my experience, when I realized it wasn't so abnormal, it helped me normalize it and feel better about things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. back to what you were saying, man, about people holding pictures, man. There's people holding pictures right now that's waiting for you to die.
Exactly.
To post that picture.
Yeah.
There's someone right now holding a picture of you, waiting for you to die to post that picture. That's a damn shame. That's some real shit.
It's so true.
That's some real shit. They're holding that shit right now. Like, say you're talking about something, and someone that comes in and makes a comment about themselves, or like somehow forms it into something about them and wants to relate it to them. That's fucking weird. Maybe it's just because we're from a different era, but sometimes it's people that are our age that do this too. And
yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, first off, bitch, you weren't there. The only time I've ever seen someone do this was when I was a kid, and this dude, Robert Camp, was the best skateboarder. He was a great dude. This dude was so fucking good at skateboarding. Like, he was so good. But he just couldn't shut up. And he was a super redneck dude. Like, I love the dude. He was just such a buck teeth, everything. Such a great skateboarder. And Ed Templeton came to town once. I will remember the story and repeat it for the rest of my life. Ed Templeton comes to Stone Edge, dude. And Templeton gets out. I remember dude's wearing a plaid shirt, and my boy my boy went and dressed up like Templeton. He had a plaid shirt. My boy Robert had a good Impossible too. Showed up, and Ed's just like in Florida. He's like, what the fuck? Yeah, like young Ed, you know what I mean? Like, just like all these fucking sweaty, dirty kids and Stone Edge and Ed Templeton just standing, everyone's just standing around him in a circle. And he's at fucking Stone Edge. There's nothing for him to skate at Stone Edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, he skated a little bowl for a second, but he was just like, what the fuck? So he started kind of doing flat ground tricks. He does it Impossible. My boy, Robert, I was like, does Impossible. Man, I got Impossible just like you. And dude, it was the most awkward 20 seconds of everyone's fucking life. And I don't think Robert ever skated after that, but I always remember that day of just like, I would never in my life try to be relatable to any fucking pro or anyone I don't know. Like I just remember that being a marker on my life of being like, because I felt like I always wanted to say something to some pros, you know what I mean? And I was just like, it made me know how to talk to pros. Fuck, dude. Like, I was probably the same age as fucking Jason Lee and Dune, and I was just like, these dudes are fucking grown-ass men to me. You know what I'm saying? Fucking stupid. That might as well have been fucking Ricky Schroeder and Alfonso Ribeiro. You know what I'm saying? Like they might as well have been fucking movie stars to me, man. Like, I was just like 20 feet away from them. Like, I remember every trick they did. I remember the pants, the shoes, all that shit. So I just remember that as man, like, I would never, ever do that. When I met Julian, I kind of wanted to freak out, but I didn't want to freak out. You know what I mean? Like, and I was trying to be cool, but I couldn't be cool. And I was like, fuck. Like, dude, I was a grown-ass man. So I was like 47 years old. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I generally did not know what to do. Like, I met it was like meeting a fucking, you know what I mean? It was like meeting a fucking hero. Like, it was like the little kid with fucking Mean Joe Green with the fucking soda. Like, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if to shake his hand. Like, I didn't know if to go in with the hug. Like, I was just like, and he was so cool. And we went out at 8, and I just remember sitting and being like, fucking having dinner with you. Like, I just remember being so hyped. You know what I mean? I was too old to be to be happy to be sitting next to a grown ass man. Yeah. And thank you, Jim Thiebaud, for that. That is the greatest fucking gift. He's like, hey man, I got someone I want you to meet. I never in my life would have ever expected that. Ever. That was probably the greatest things. One of the greatest things that happened to me in skateboarding, because I didn't know it was coming.
That was a big day of break for you, right? Like,
yeah,
I remember that. That was when Narako came and we gave away all that stuff at the skate park. Yeah,
Narako, man. I want to give a shout out to Narako. Hopefully, everything he's been going through some things. Hopefully,
oh, really?
Better for him. Yeah,
He's in Jersey again, right?
he's in Jersey, which is in fucking insane. I was trying to hook up with Freddie Gall when I was there, but I think we like slightly missed each other or something like that. But I've spoken to him on the phone briefly.
Like I said, I'm trying to not work.
Freddie's the best.
Man, I know him when he was a kid. I taught him how to. Actually, I think he knew how to do it, but we were at the NSA finals in Atlanta. Was it like 92? Maybe it was 92. It's either 92 or 93. Might have been 92. And he was a kid. And so me and Freddie, and I want to say Brandon Novak, and someone else, we went to saltwater the machines. And fucking, we went to saltwater the machines in the hotel. Like, took it back to his fucking hotel. We were like smoking cigarettes with his mom. Me and that dude were destined for fucking bad. From that day on, I was like, me and this dude signed a contract with the devil that day. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's good to see him fucking doing better, man.
I'm hyped. Well, let's wrap it up. I've taken enough of your time. I really appreciate you telling all these stories. And dude, I always love hearing like your opinions on these things. And I get hyped on our conversations, like even, not on the pod, even the ones that we're just cracking up and all that stuff. But just real quick plug is WCRP on skateboarding is where people can find the podcast, right?
Yep. WCRP on skateboarding. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple.
Instagram.
It's on iTunes. It's on all streaming networks. And soon it will be on, actually, WCRP will be on YouTube. You can go to the YouTube now and subscribe. But the content I'm doing on YouTube, it will be podcast oriented. I will say that much.
Oh, that's good news.
Yes.
And I'm going to make a huge announcement. I'm joining Clyde in the Patreon world. I'm diving in. I'm going to see what happens over there. I don't even know anything about it, but I just got a page and I'm going to try to figure it out.
I'll tell you exactly what's up with it. It is another place to put shit at. And so you like, I like it. Like I go in there and throw some shit in there. I feel like I do more on IG. So that's why I was saying like maybe ask for donations. That's what I'm going to do. I do have a donation button. So people want to hit the donation button. It's in my link bio. I don't know which way to go with that. You know what I mean? It's kind of tricky. I got some good sponsors. Ooh, hold on. Watch this.
Yeah. Let's take a break with a sponsor from Clyde Singleton. You got tacos and they're not spicy enough? Call Clyde for the salsa de Singleton.
Check it out, dude. I got a sponsor. I got a package from a sponsor. Hold on.
Ooh.
Oh, that's one. That's FTP. Look at this. FTP.
Oh.
Bunch of FTP stuff. Thanks, FTP.
Sick. Inserts, kids. Here we go. Show and tell. All I got is the new Thrasher.
I think I know what this is. This is the new sponsor. I can give them a plug on this. Let me start.
All right. Coming straight out of the FedEx bag. The new sponsor for Clyde Singleton on WCRP on skateboarding is...
Check it out. These things called Wally mounts.
Wally mounts?
Yeah, dude. So look, here's a plate, right? And so you put these little pins. You got to screw it in, obviously. And these pins go through your board, and they go into the fucking wall. Fucking genius, right?
You just influenced somebody.
Fucking genius. It looks like a little base plate. You can do them either way.
Who's the brand?
You can do it either way. It's called Wally Mounts. Check them out.
Wally Mounts.
Check them out on WCRP on skateboarding. Probably coming to Talkin Schmit soon.
Could be an advertisement here on the pod any day now. The phone should be ringing any minute.
Dude, what's up with that one place you were going to hook me up with?
Oh, Magic Mind. They just finished my campaign, so I can hand them off to you.
Dude, hook me up with it, dude.
Magic Mind.
This is my new secret weapon. I'm going to make pins.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, push button. You know the little pins that go on hats and shit.
Yeah.
My
I made
buddy
a
gave
bunch
me
of
one a
those.
while back, so I'm gonna just get a bunch of the Cooking with Clyde, the artwork.
Oh yeah, there was one thing that somebody asked me to ask you. One is somebody, I forget their name, but it was on Instagram, and they said, "What's your connection to the Fox Cafe in Jacksonville, Florida?"
Oh shit! Really? What was that question again?
What's your connection to the Fox Cafe?
This place?
Yeah. I guess you know those guys.
My father helped make the bricks that built it. I'm kidding. No, I know Ian and Mary since I was a kid. Ian owns it.
Okay.
And Mary I went to school with. And so Ian was one of the older skater guys that they were all the cool guys growing up, you know.
Okay.
Small story, but long story short, I'm sorry. One of my good friends, Eric Gilliard, works here. He's the guy in the photo. You know the photo with me with the orange hair and I'm wearing the Gabriel Rodriguez shirt. It's like me and another standing there. That guy is the manager at the Fox, and that's who I grew up with.
Oh wow, small.
Yeah,
world.
so that's my mom goes in there all the time. Like they take care of her. That's like I go every time I go back.
Okay, cool. Must have been somebody from over there sent me that question. I was like, that's cool.
That's so crazy that someone asked you about the Fox. And I just had the shirt laying around. I'm like, oh,
that's the spot.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you. Appreciate your time as always.
No problem, man.
And keep me in the loop on any of these things. I'm down.
Just working away, man. Grinding away.
Same.
I'm doing a push and pee very soon. Actually, 2 more very soon. And
I like those. I really like those, actually. I've been listening. I listened to all those ones, and then the Tony Hawk one was great. You know what? The one that for some reason I liked a lot was the Jason Rogers. That one felt like you guys were just old homies and just like not holding back, and just it was cool. I liked the vibe on that one.
Yeah, Roger, man, I love that man. I've always liked that dude. You know what I mean? He was always one of my favorite I liked all the 8th Street dudes.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, for us, I don't know how it went for you, and I don't want to hold you up. It was like Santa Cruz, and then 8th Street. Obviously, Powell, you know, but it was Powell and Santa Cruz came through real strong, and 8th Street was just, and that was kind of the thing for a while. The New Deal was, but it was, we were 8th Street heavy, man. But we like New Deal. We always back Montesi and all that.
Yeah, but Matt Hensley was like, he melted minds.
Anything them dudes did was gold. Like anything, they could do no wrong. You know what I mean? Like everything, the boards, everything was just, God, good old days. All right, man, let's fucking get up soon. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna try to finish up this Duran interview. I have to.
And tell the boys hello tomorrow. I love Lance for sure.
Okay, we'll hit you up. We'll FaceTime you or something.
Yeah, have fun skating. Okay, do it. Yeah.
Hey, before we go, did you see that? You see that clip of Tom Penny skate with the Steve Harvey suit?
No. Is it real?
I swear to God, it looks like a floating Steve Harvey suit, dude. It's the greatest thing in the world, dude. I fucking love it, dude. He looks like he's gonna come out on Showtime at the Apollo. Are you watching it? It's fucking good.
We got some gold here, kids. As always, the pleasure was yours.
Thank you.
Hey, that's it for this week's show, but I did want to mention that starting next week, we got a new musical addition to the program with our new music editor, Shane Mednich. We got a program called SMFM, and it's going to end each podcast with a song picked by Shane. Of course, he needs the rights, so it's probably going to be a lot of bros. Send him your songs, musicians. If you got a band out there and want to be a part of the show, hit up Shane Mednich on Instagram. I'll throw his info in the bio. Till next week, peace.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talking Schmit. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. When you subscribe, you'll get notifications every Tuesday of new episodes the minute they become available. Also, please leave reviews and a 5-star rating. It's the best way to help the show grow. All of the episodes will always remain free, but if you would like to help support the show, you can do so at TalkinSchmit.com, where you can pick up some merchandise like t-shirts, beanies, hats, and stickers. The website has an entire archive of all of the episodes, with extra photos and videos. Email us with any suggestions, comments, or ways that the show may have improved your life at talkinschmit@gmail.com. All interviews are conducted, edited, and produced by Schmitty. The intro music is Mary's Cross by the band Nature. A very special shout out goes to the executive director, Sharal Camisa.
Shout out.
Love it!
This is Talking Schmit, where the Rolodex is deep, but the conversation is deeper.
Keep the wheels greased.